today we'll be solving inequalities, and we'll be adding in trying some multiplication and division. It's going to be the same as solving equations, but there's going to be a little change. Let me kind of do an example here. If I tell you that 3 is smaller than 5, you would say, that's true, Miss Barnum, that's good. And then I decide that, well, I'm going to multiply the 3 by -1, just to kind of see what happens. But I know that whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I multiply both sides by -1. That's going to give me -3 is less than -5. Is that still true? And you know what, guys? It's not. -3 is not smaller than -5. So basically, here's what we learned today. It doesn't matter if you multiply or divide, but if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you're going to have to switch the sign in the middle. So my answer here should have been, when I multiplied by that -1, it should have been -3 is greater than -5. Now that is a true statement. So let's go ahead and maybe try a couple examples here. And again, basically, if you multiply or divide by negative, change the sign. That's the rule for today. So let's try 2a. I've got a negative n over 6. So to get rid of the division of 6, 6 is connected to the n using multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. I'm sorry, it's connected on division. The opposite of division is multiplication. So to make that 6 go away, I'm going to multiply by a -6. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other, which allows my negatives to become positives. And then stop and ask yourself, did I multiply or divide by negative? And the answer is yes. So that means you need to switch the sign. Past that, everything's the same. Okay, and I can graph it again. Let's see, extra ink, extra ink. Since it does equal it, it's going to be a nice happy dot. Numbers bigger than -48 would be to the right. Okay, what happens if I try to do like a fraction? Well, multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of -4/3 is -3/4. -3/4. Some things cancel. Whoops, stop. Did you multiply by a negative? Yes, so flip the sign. So that would be what? A positive 30/4, which is the same thing as 15/2, which for my decimal lovers is what, 7.5? Okay, you can use your calculator. I was just doing it in my head. Circular dot looks like a circle this time. And numbers smaller than 7.5 would be to the left. And that's, pretty much it. The question I always get asked then is, what if I divide and it's not a negative number? Let's come down here and do 3b. I'm down here. In this case, when I divide by 6, whoops, stop. Did I divide by a negative? No, I did not divide by a negative. So I do not flip the sign. Okay, the rule is that you change it if and only if you divide by a negative. Multiply or divide by a negative. And let's rewrite this so that r is less than or equal to -7. If I want to get fancy, I can put it in set builder notation. Numbers smaller than -7 are to the left.